Once you log into MyDE, you're going to notice that there are two ways you can get to your science textbook. The first way is under Services, and the second way is to go over to your sidebar menu and actually click on Science Textbook. Once we get there, there's going to be the course up here. So it usually goes to the last course that you are working in. If that's not the course that you need, then you can expand that and you can choose the course that you need. So we're going to use grade 6 through 8, Earth and Space. And the first tab that we see here is an Overview tab. That is going to give you some the names of the units with a thumbnail and the name of each concept covered within that unit. The second tab at the top here is a Table of Contents tab, and it is going to be basically the same information, but it's going to be in a list view. With the Contents tab, you can enter a keyword. So if we were doing a lesson on sun, we could type in sun here, and it would take me to all of the concepts and the resources in Textbook that deal with sun. You can also go straight to the unit because it's hyperlinked. The concept names are hyperlinked if you want to see the entire concept. Or let's say that you are going to do sun and you just want to look at the model lesson or the resources, then you can go straight there. And here are the standards that are addressed with this concept of sun. The next one is a Standards tab, and so if you just know what standard that you're wanting to address with your students, but you don't know where it's at, you can click on your standards and click on the standard and drill down to get to specific substandards, and once you find the correct substandard, you can click on it and it will take you to the concepts that are associated with that substandard. So let's go back to the overview and let's look at how the lessons are laid out. So again, let's say that you are working with the sun. And so I'm going to click on that, and the first thing that you're going to notice is there are 5 tabs across the top. So let's go over the purpose for each tab. This is basically the 5E model for inquiry, which all of our concepts are set up that way, and that's how they're structured. So the first thing you have is engage, and with the engage tab, it is going to basically get that student involved. It's going to help them make connections with what they already know. It's going to do that through through a problem-based learning experience, or present them with some kind of phenomena about the sun. You'll notice here too that the word sun is hyperlinked, and that's because it's going to take you to that word in our glossary. So looking at this, we see that we also have at the end a type of assessment. So that may be a technology enhanced item or some other type of assessment item that you are going to be able to give your students so you can see where they're at with the topic of sun. So next we have Explore, and with Explore, you are going to be like a facilitator, and this is where the students are going to get some information. They're going to test predictions and hypothesis, and they're going to record some information. At the end of the Explore tab, you also have a check for understanding piece so that you can see how well they're doing so far. One thing I want to point out too is a great tool when the students are reading this is our core interactive text. So what they can do is they can highlight the sentence or the paragraph or whatever they're working with. They can use speak to text, which will read that for them. So that's great for your EL students or your EC students. We have highlight, so that if they want to highlight that. We have take notes. So if they want to take notes about the sun, they can do that. And then later they can access those notes over here in their sidebar under My Notebook. And it's going to show them their book and what they highlighted and what they wrote for their note. So then the next tab that we have is our Explain tab. And with the Explain tab, it basically helps the students move to a more concrete understanding, helps them verbalize and demonstrate what they understand so far about the science textbook. Then the next one's Elaborate. With Elaborate, it's going to give the students an opportunity to basically deepen their understanding with an activity or some kind of project that they can do with that. And lastly, we have Evaluate. Evaluate